So in this video I'm going to show you how to use the calculated question type in Moodle 3. Now the question in front of you just looks like a normal maths question. However, the values 3 and 6 will change for every student answering this question. They're wildcards drawn from a bank of values that we input into Moodle. So if we want the values between 1 and 10, then 3 will be randomly chosen between 1 and 10, and so will 6. And when we put the answer into the box, Moodle knows to calculate the right answer. So I'll show you how to do that now. So if I go back to my quiz, and add new question and choose calculated. Now this appears here if you've used calculated question before. As you probably won't have, I'm just going to put it to how you will see it when you're doing it for the first time. So you give it a question name, obviously, and here's where you put your question. Now, because you want to use random questions, random values, sorry, you need to put the values in the squirrely brackets. Now, A could be anything. I'm just using A, but if you wanted to, you could call it Fred or anything you want, but you have to remember it. So I'm just going to put it back to 8 is sensible. So AX equals, and also this is going to be a random value as well. So I'm going to put that in squirrely brackets too. Now, default mark is 1, no general feedback. Now in here, you need to tell Moodle to do some maths. So you need to put in A, so the correct answer would be B divided by A. Again, you need to put a squirrely bracket in because it's telling Moodle these are wildcards, these are random values. If they put in this answer, then they get 100%. Now the students will not enter this, the students will put in whatever the result is of B divided by A. Now I'm going to use whole values, but the answer still might be in decimals, so I'm going to put 2 decimal values. And if they get it right, I'm going to tell them, well done. Obviously with 2 L's. Now I'm not going to worry about this at the moment, guys. If you want to play with that, you can play around with that later. So I'm going to save changes. Now, this looks really complicated. Now, if you have used wildcards before, you can choose data sets. So if you've already set up a bank of questions using values 1 to 10, you can choose it here. But seeing as you probably haven't, I'm going to choose to use a new data set, and we're going to set up a new data set. If you're using the same ones as before, you can synchronize, so any changes you make now will update the old data set. But I'm going to put do not synchronize because we are creating a new data set, so there's nothing to synchronize with. Next page. Okay, so at the moment we've got wildcards A and B, there's nothing in them at the moment, we haven't set any values. This is the question it belongs to, and it's in this quiz. Right, so the first wildcard that's generated is 1.0, however I only want whole values, so I need to change that so that there are no decimal places and there are none, and the same for wildcard A. So it's going to generate a value between 1 and 10, it's generated 1 with no decimal places, and the same for A. Don't worry about tolerance parameters at the moment, this will show the answer here. So B divided by A, so 1 divided by 5.6 is 0, but however we want to update so we've got whole numbers. So there we go, 1 divided by 5 equals 0.20. Now I'm going to add these now, so I'm going to add 1 and 5 to my dataset collection. So now it's generated some new ones for me. Look, it's generated 2 and 5. Different answer. I'm going to add that one too. It's giving me another set now. It's giving me 8 and 1. Yep, looks fine to me. So I'm going to add that also. 9 and 4. Okay, sensible answer. Okay, add. Now, as you can see, I've got 4 items added for each wildcard now. So I'm on set 4. If I continue adding, it's going to continue to put random values into my data set. So I'm going to keep doing it until I have 10. So once you've got the number of data sets that you want, so I've now got 10 sets, you can save changes or you can preview. I'm just going to preview just to make sure it's okay. So there we go. My answer at the moment is 3x equals 4, so the students have to put the correct answer in there. And if I preview again, it should hopefully give me a new data set. Yep, 5 and 4, 5 and 4 again, 8 and 4. So you can see that each student will have different values each time they open. Now, just one thing, if a student tries to go back and answer the question again, it will still show the same values. Now, this is to try and stop students getting the same question as their friend, or to try and get a so-called easier question. So on the same computer, in the same session for the student, it will give them the same values. However, if the student logs out and logs back in again, it will give them different values. So there you go, that's how to do calculated questions.